A global leader has just passed away, but he wasn't a king, a president, or a billionaire. He was the Pope.
Pope Francis has died.
And we do begin tonight with the death of Pope Francis.
Well, Pope Francis' funeral.
Pope Francis
Has died aged 88.
So what happens now? With Pope's recent passing and his funeral approaching, many are questioning his legacy and asking, what did he actually achieve? Marking the end of an era for over 1.3 billion Catholics around the world, whether you're religious or not. Chances are you've probably heard his name before or seen him. Pope Francis became known for breaking traditions and speaking out on issues like climate change, inequality, and even the LGBTQ community. Things previous popes hardly spoken upon. Pope Francis has actually even been called the woke pope, the people's pope, and even the meme pope. Depends who you're asking. Today we're outside St. Paul's Cathedral to see if the people have some answers for my questions. Enjoy. Have you heard that the Pope passed away last week?
Yeah.
And what are your thoughts on it?
I'm quite sad. I really liked him. I thought he was cool and he was like a really inspirational person.
I did hear about it. I was up in Scotland and heard first thing. I didn't know much about the Pope before, and then lots of reading following that, and it's quite sad. He did quite a lot of good stuff, it sounds like, but I really didn't know anything much before. I'm not Catholic.
I'm not Catholic, but I was raised religious. I don't really have any opinions. I think he was quite an interesting figure in terms of like he had quite interesting opinions on homosexuality and stuff.
He did actually. He was actually advocating a lot for the LGBTQ community as well, which a lot of the popes like before, they were like, no.
Yeah, it's really interesting. I think it's like changing, modern world. It's sort of religion fitting more into like secular life.
Do you think he was more of a spiritual leader or more of a political figure? Because he had people say he influenced politics a lot.
I think it really depends on your perspective. If you're a very religious person, but I would say the reason why his death was more impactful to me is because he was very political, and rightly so. And sometimes, like they say, don't mix religion with politics, but I think it's difficult not to, right? Because it permeates everything we do.
Especially in this day of age.
Yeah,
so.
exactly.
Yeah. Are you Catholic as well?
Yeah.
Oh, you are. So this must be a big thing for you.
Yeah.
And what is the first thing that comes into your mind when you hear his name, Pope Francis?
I thought he was a very kind person, and I know he had like a really unconventional past. He was like a bouncer or something.
He was, yeah.
I think that it's just cool that there was someone in the Catholic Church who had power and was also like very open to like equality.
To everyone, yeah.
I think he was probably the more progressive of all the pontiffs we've had. When you think about his stance on, gay priests as well, and homosexuality as well. So he was somewhat progressive in some respects. So that's the first thing that springs to mind for me, really.
Yeah. And does his death impact you in any some sort of way?
It's impacted me because I think in the current state of the world, you kind of need someone that's going to be a voice for, I guess, all things that are right and ethics, right? I mean, you've seen how things are going with our commander-in-chief, the US President Donald Trump, right? And just completely subverting everything that we know to be correct and right.
Yeah,
and
I don't know if you saw, but he met J.D. Vance just before he passed away.
Do you know what?
He definitely did something.
I was thinking, man, like, you want to keep away from J.D., right? Like, if that isn't enough reason to keep your distance, then yeah.
And do you think he was more of a spiritual leader or more of a political figure? Because a lot of people are like debating if they had any implications with politics and influence in politics.
I mean, I think like spirituality is very political, and I thought that he was. I think his message was like very much that political agendas shouldn't get in the way of everyone being able to like exercise their freedom to worship.
And a lot of people like to label him as like too woke for the Catholic Church. What are your opinions on that?
I don't feel that way. I think that he did a really good job of showing how like religion is for everyone, and like there shouldn't be any barriers to, like finding God, finding spirituality. And
has his death impacted you in any some sort of way?
Yeah, I'm quite sad. I hope that his replacement can sort of follow in his footsteps. I'm American, right? So like seeing that this happened right after he met with J.D. Vance was kind of
he did meet with J.D. Vance just before.